welcome to another Gran Turismo 6 drift drive tutorial. This ain't the front wheel drive cars one, this is an actual drift. Well, it ain't a car at all, it's a Dodge Ram. And the Dodge Ram is the most fun drift vehicle in the game in my opinion. And for this one, it's pretty cop picking good. This is the four-wheel drive non-race car drift trial at Grand Valley, and the Ram in the last one I think was able to get a whole heck of a heap of high positions. I think there's 3 or 4 Rams in the top 100. I think I was second in the Rams and I finished 58th total. And whatever Ram was higher than me was actually quite a bit higher than me, so the Rams are definitely good here. I'll go ahead and tell you all my best run from the last drift trial. I haven't quite yet been able to get as many points in this drift trial, but it's only the second day it's out. So I still have a whole heck of a heap of time to improve, and maybe I can improve to a higher score. And yeah, I'll go ahead and get into it, and also the tune at the end. Rams always mystify, and this one definitely does too. This ain't the blue Ram, because that one doesn't have an oil change. This one does, so therefore it has more power, and more power equals more wheel spin, and more wheel spin equals momentum, and momentum is definitely a good thing while drifting. And to start off, I got nitro installed here. I ain't really all that good with using the nitro for drift trials. Seems like when I use it, it just revs up the engine higher and actually ends up having less wheel spin. Maybe there's actually a different tune you're supposed to do for when you use nitro to when you're not drifting in this game, but I use it sparingly. I don't use it as much as the leaders do. Maybe I lose points there, I don't know. But anyway, it ain't that big of a difference either way. And for going into this first turn, really for all turns, the Ram drifts easy. You can be on the throttle pretty much instantly and you can drift. This is one of the easiest ones to drift in the game, four-wheel drive or not. And also, to show how easy it is, the transmission on this is set to 137. I'm going barely over 70, so not much over half the top speed of this. And I'm in 6th gear, and it has plenty of power. And when I get on the power, again I'm already drifting, and I just got on the power. For this turn, stay on the inside line for pretty much till the turn itself ends, and then go a little bit to the outside. The leaders go a little bit more on the outside than I do, but I swear anytime that I try to take the leaders line, I get like 14 or 1500 points. But when I take this line in general, I can get 17, 1800. I don't understand how the leaders can take the same line I do, but yet get like 900 points more. That doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. That line ain't bad. And maybe it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's just like physics or something. I don't know. I know the RS6 is lower to the ground than the Ram by default. I don't really know if that means anything, but nonetheless, for what it is, the Ram's pretty cop picky good. It's one of the best rally cars, trucks, anything in the game for its performance point. It's really good in quick matches, as y'all saw. And it can drift. Rams always mystify because they're good at everything. And for this turn, I'm in 5th gear, going not even 40 miles an hour, still plenty of power. And this turn, the leaders take pretty much the same line as me and get not that much higher of a score. There's pretty much only one line for this one, being start a little bit on the outside, but not really. Not crazy outside, like not on that Rommel strip or whatever you want to call that. Not really paved, not really grass area. But once you start, pretty much go immediately to the inside. And never go much above 35, 36, 37 there. Just kind of change it to your own accord to be able to stay on the inside. Whatever speed you need to take to stay on the inside. And then just do that by throttle control. It's more practice than anything there. And then for this turn transition, easy enough. Just when you're in the middle of the 2 turns transition, that's easy enough to remember. And when I start, again, this is one of those areas where I look at the leaders replay and look at mine. They seem to start drifting the second turn about the same time as I do, but yet they can immediately start getting maximum points. But it takes me like a second there to be able to get a full flow of points. Again, I don't really know exactly what or why that is, but maybe I can buff that out for this drift trial and gain a few more points for that area. I don't know. I ain't necessarily a drift alien either. I ain't a time trial alien, qualifier alien. I ain't a drift trial alien either. I can do the front wheel drives, but that's more of a loophole than actual drifting. But I ain't necessarily bad at these. And for this run, for the final turn, start on the outside, but sort of kind of like the last one. You want to get to the inside pretty cotton picking quickly. Just you're going faster in general, so it's actually not as quickly because you are going faster. And also for this turn, you want to use 6th gear instead of 5th gear because you're going that much faster. And then pretty quickly get to the inside there, but not quite on the... I guess you'd call that a rumble strip. I don't... Embankment, rumble strip, that... Whatever that's called. Don't get on that, but get near it. And then throttle control to stay pretty much on that general path there, like about the same area always. And just as long as you stay on the inside but not quite on that rumble strip there, you're good to get quite a bit more than 5,000 points. Again, the leaders, as far as I can tell, are pretty much taking that exact line, just they can get more points because physics or something, I don't know. But anyway, that's the run, and now I'll show y'all the tune. This tune is completely different than the quick match tune. The Ram can drift in a quick match, but it's meant to drift more for speed in a quick match, like sort of kind of toge type thing. The drifting that it does in a quick match is actually so it can take turns faster and more aggressive. This is purely to drift. It ain't necessarily fast, it's just drifty. That's what you want in a drift trial, is drifty. First off, comfort hard tires, just the less grip possible in a drift trial because the slower you go, the more points you get. And for the suspension there, highest it goes, the most spring rate possible, hardest springs, the most damper compression and roll bars, and the most camber, and then the least toe, so the max negative. For brakes, they don't really matter all that much. You're pretty much taking all the turns via throttle control, and braking's not really much of a thing. For transmission, it's weird. Some drift trials I have to do crazy stuff to the transmission, but some I can just run a default setting. Like this is the default 137 miles an hour for Ram. I guess it just depends on what type of vehicle it is. If it's really powerful, then you don't have to do much of the transmission. If it's not, then you have to do more. For the differential, basically it's rear-wheel drive. It's as rear-wheel drive as a game will allow it to be, which means that it drifts better because the rear end kicks out more. And then that's why I have the power at the front at the minimum, because you don't really want the front to do much. You want the rear to do all the work. And again, brakes don't really matter. There's a minimum there because you don't want the brakes to matter. For power, all of the power, and then so I can use higher gear for all the drifting, which makes it more consistent. I have power at 75%. That way you can use a higher gear. And I have nitro on, and max nitro, like max power. Means it doesn't last as long, but you ain't gonna use it all for this one anyway. And then for the weight, just all the weight off. All the weight reduction on, so no added weight and all the weight reduction. And then there you have it, folks. That's the tune for the Drift Ram. Not necessarily the Drift E Ram, the completely Drift Ram, like made only for drifting. So I hope y'all enjoyed this and learned something from it, and maybe y'all can beat the score that I got. It definitely ain't out of the realm of possibilities because, as I said, the leaders are doing different stuff, but yet can get crazy higher scores. So I think for this one, anything's possible. That's for sure, folks. That's for sure. Just keep practicing, and maybe you'll find something completely different that works way better. And as always, yeehaw!